When Elon Musk was building PayPal, he would regularly disappear for 48 hours straight, sleeping under his desk and coding without interruption. Yet at other times, he'd be intensely social, pitching investors and recruiting talent with relentless energy. This wasn't random, it was a deliberate strategy. The most successful people in history share this same pattern. Einstein called it his combinatory play. Bill Gates takes think weeks in isolation, followed by periods of intense action. This monk mode slash beast mode oscillation is the hidden productivity secret that conventional wisdom misses entirely. What if everything you've been taught about productivity is actually keeping you stuck in mediocrity? I've spent years studying the habits of exceptional performers, and I've noticed something that most productivity experts never talk about. The average person diligently follows conventional wisdom, they maintain consistent schedules, avoid distractions, and strive for that mythical work-life balance we're all supposed to want. Yet the top 1% operate by an entirely different set of rules. Rules that often appear illogical or even self-destructive to outside observers. Most productivity systems are fundamentally flawed because they're designed for average results, not exceptional achievement. They focus obsessively on efficiency, how to get more done in less time rather than breakthrough thinking and revolutionary action. These systems teach you to organize your existing commitments better, not how to create work that transforms industries or changes lives. There's an uncomfortable truth here. Optimization for consistency is optimization for mediocrity. Research shows a disturbing pattern. The more religiously you try to maintain balanced productivity, the more firmly you cement your position in the middle of the pack. I've observed this countless times with clients who meticulously follow their productivity systems, yet remain frustrated by their inability to achieve extraordinary outcomes. The top performers aren't just working harder or smarter, they're working fundamentally differently. To ordinary observers, the work patterns of the top 1% often appear impossible to explain because their approach violates every conventional norm we've been taught. Their obsession levels and mission size exist on a completely different plane. Take Elon Musk, who works in 80-plus-hour bursts when launching new projects, then shifts to strategic thinking and delegation. Or consider Sarah Blakely, founder of Spanx, who deliberately schedules thinking time, where she does nothing but drive around Atlanta processing ideas. These patterns seem chaotic, even unhealthy to outsiders following conventional wisdom. The core difference becomes clear when you study these patterns long enough. Average performers seek consistency, while exceptional performers embrace strategic inconsistency. Periods of monk-like focus, followed by beast-like action. The average performer maintains a steady 7/10 effort day after day. The exceptional performer oscillates between complete 10/10 immersion and strategic 3/10 recovery, averaging the same energy expenditure but producing dramatically different results. This pattern appears across virtually every field, from artists to entrepreneurs to scientists. The novelist who disappears for months of solitary writing then emerges for an intensive book launch. The entrepreneur who goes dark during product development then becomes omnipresent during market expansion. The ability to oscillate between these modes correlates directly with breakthrough achievement because it aligns with how the brain actually produces innovative work. The science behind this pattern reveals why conventional approaches fail. Cognitive flexibility coupled with intense focus creates neural pathways that simply don't develop under consistent routines. Neuroscience research demonstrates that breakthrough ideas require both focused attention and unfocused mental wandering, the exact pattern that emerges in top performers who alternate between deep work and expansive action. What's particularly fascinating is how this violates everything we're taught about sustainable performance. The concept of sustainability itself becomes questionable when you examine what produces truly exceptional results. Is working 16-hour days during a critical project launch sustainable? Not if you did it forever. But the top 1% don't operate that way. They sprint, then recover, sprint again, then strategically withdraw. The single biggest difference between the top 1% and everyone else isn't raw intelligence, luck, or even specific skills. It's their willingness to abandon consistency in favor of strategic oscillation between extreme states of productivity. While everyone else is trying to maintain balance, they're deliberately creating productive imbalance, knowing that the pendulum swing between modes is where breakthrough performance. This insight challenges the foundation of modern productivity advice. It suggests that your carefully crafted morning routine might actually be the thing holding you back. Your commitment to showing up consistently might be precisely what's preventing exceptional achievement. Your perfectly balanced schedule might be your biggest limitation. The perfectly balanced schedule you've been striving for might actually be your greatest barrier to extraordinary achievement. What separates the exceptional from the merely good isn't their ability to maintain consistency. It's their mastery of productive extremes. I call it the monk beast method, and once you understand how to engineer these mental states, you'll never approach work the same way again. This isn't some random process where you haphazardly switch between focused work and frantic action. The top performers aren't leaving their mental states to chance. They're strategically engineering their environment and mindset with the precision of a master watchmaker. The difference between average results and breakthrough achievements lies in understanding exactly when each mode serves your mission and how to transition between them with intentional precision. Most people attempt these transitions randomly, leading to the productivity equivalent of whiplash. You end up neither fully focused nor fully in action, just stuck in a perpetual state of mediocre output. The true separation happens when you deliberately cultivate each state rather than drifting between them unconsciously. Let's break down what monk mode actually means. This isn't about merely eliminating distractions. It's about creating an environment that makes deep focus inevitable. When entering monk mode, you're crafting specific conditions, turning off notifications, using website blockers, and establishing dedicated spaces for singular concentration. You're essentially designing an environment where your brain receives unambiguous signals that it's time for Zen-like focus. Your physical space becomes a trigger that tells your nervous system to downshift into deep concentration. The most powerful pattern I've observed among high achievers is how they leverage this mode first thing in the morning to eat the frog, tackling their most important task when willpower reserves are at their highest. Often before the world wakes up, they're diving into their most challenging work. This isn't just about productivity, it's about creating early momentum that makes everything else easier. That initial win achieved in a state of complete immersion sets a completely different trajectory for your day. Beast mode represents the polar opposite energy. This is where you activate what Tim Denning calls your primal instincts, emphasizing execution over perfection, momentum over analysis, and rapid implementation over endless planning. In this state, you're not refining, you're building. You're not thinking, you're launching. You're not contemplating, you're connecting and influencing. The perfectionism that served you in monk mode becomes your enemy here. Beast mode demands forward motion at all costs. The magic happens when you master the transition between these states. Physical movement serves as one of the most powerful triggers. A 20-minute walk can spark more creativity than an hour of scrolling. Environmental changes signal your brain to shift gears without resistance. Moving from a quiet office to a bustling coffee shop can instantly activate different mental circuitry. These aren't just preferences, they're neurological switches that help you transition between deep work and unstoppable action. During beast mode, something extraordinary happens when you build what Denning describes as a cult of crazies, mentors, peers, and team members who elevate your thinking and accelerate implementation. These aren't just network connections. They're people who share your level of ambition and drive, who are willing to be brainwashed and indoctrinated into a different philosophy to achieve a shared vision. They become the fuel that propels your action phase to heights impossible to reach alone. What makes the Monk Beast method so powerful is how it aligns with your brain's natural cognitive cycles. Your neural pathways develop differently when exposed to both intense focus and expansive action than they do under consistent routines. The contrast between states creates adaptive pressure that forces extraordinary mental development, like interval training for your brain. The physical energy fundamentally fuels mental performance, consistent movement, whether through walking meetings, short, intense workouts, or prioritizing recovery, builds the foundation that makes both modes sustainable. Your body isn't separate from this equation. It's the foundation upon which the entire system functions. And this is where everything changes. The strategic oscillation between monk and beast mode isn't just another productivity hack. It's a fundamental rewiring of how you approach your life's work. As Tim Denning explains, this dynamic balance between periods of monastic concentration and primal execution is the hidden engine driving the extraordinary achievements of the top performers. What separates truly exceptional individuals isn't superhuman talent or luck. It's their willingness to embrace this counterintuitive rhythm that most people resist. When you master this oscillation, tasks that seemed impossible become inevitable. The choice is yours now. Will you continue with predictable routines that yield predictable results? Or will you step into the extraordinary by embracing the powerful duality that unlocks your full potential?